This is a story about tenacity and the installation of a stop sign. You might think that's not much of a story, but hear me out. The stop sign in question is at the Drummoyne Pool car park, next to Aqualuna on the Bay Run. It took 8 months of persistent chasing to get this stop sign installed. I don't know why it took so long. Maybe the sign had to be custom made, or council ran out of poles, or they needed to apply for a road closure permit to install a pole and sign. Given that the pole was in a garden bed, maybe they had to get consultants to write reports on the impact of the pole on the vegetation. I don't know, but I reckon I spent more time chasing council to get this installed than it took someone to actually dig a hole and install a sign. I ride around the bay several times per week, and I got sick of either experiencing near misses or seeing other people having near misses caused by drivers exiting the car park without stopping to check that the path is clear. If you're unclear on what drivers should be doing when they enter or exit a car park like this, just look up Road Rule 74 and 75. These cover driving in and out of a road-related area. In short, drivers have to give way to pedestrians on the footpath. So if you're driving in and out of, say, the 7-Eleven on Great North Road or the Coles car park in Five Dock, you need to stop for pedestrians. It's that simple. They have right of way. Some car parks even have little speed bumps at the exit to try to remind drivers that this is the case. But obviously some drivers seem to believe that might is right, and they can just charge across the footpath and pedestrians must scatter like pigeons. Now here's the timeline of events. This saga actually started in April last year when I was walking around Perth and noticed that in WA they put a lot of effort into preventing collisions where driveways cross cycle paths and footpaths. I put together this collage and sent it to council asking that it be raised at the next traffic committee meeting. That went absolutely nowhere. It seems someone doesn't like installing convex mirrors to help drivers see around blind corners, and that's part of the problem with this car park, blind corners. When I got back from Perth, I put together some video of close calls and sent that in too, and that also sunk without a trace. Now fast forward nearly a year, and after some more close calls at this spot, the Bay Bug Advisory Group decided to raise this formally with council in writing. The committee secretary, a retired lawyer, drafted the letter and submitted it to council on the 25th of February. Council staff then went on site, did some investigations and reported back to the traffic committee meeting on the 21st of May. Someone at council did a terrible job of scanning the minutes and adding them to the agenda of the next council meeting. I'm sorry about that. But the line that stood out for me here says, there are also concerns regarding drivers failing to give way to pedestrians and cyclists when exiting the car park. This was previously considered by the committee in May 2017. Which resulted in the installation of a stop sign for exiting vehicles. Okay, so there should have been a sign there. During recent on-site investigations, it was noted that the stop sign was missing, and as a result, it will be reinstalled. Now, the way things work, the traffic committee is just an advisory group with no power to make decisions. All they can do is make recommendations which get considered and approved or rejected at the next full council meeting. Council met on the 23rd of June, and they waved this through. Righto. I read that and figured, well, that's the end of the matter. Council staff went and had a look, found the sign was supposed to be there and it wasn't, and council had agreed to reinstall it. How hard can that be? Well, fast forward again to the 16th of September, nearly 3 months later, and I ducked into the car park when I was going past and had a look and, well, was surprised to find there was no sign. When I got home, I emailed council this extract from the minutes, which you can see on screen, and asked if a work order had been raised to get the sign installed. Because, that's what you need to do. You need a work order to get this stuff done. And there was no response. A week later, on the 24th of September, I rang council and asked what was going on. After a bit of searching in the records management system, they found my email and I was told that the council officer responsible had until the 1st of October to respond. Okay, 2 weeks from my email, that's okay. But a month after my email, and 3 weeks past the due date of the response, I rang council yet again on the 19th of October to ask what was going on. I got an email a couple of days later to say the sign was installed on the 19th, and you can see the evidence here that it was. Hooray! Well, it's now going to be interesting to see how long this sign lasts and how long it takes to get replaced if someone takes a dislike to it a second time. What gets me though is that council made a decision back in June to reinstall the sign. And here we are in October. Is no one at council taking note of the decisions made by council and the actions that arise from those decisions? The City of Sydney, for instance, has a searchable online decisions register, which implies they're not just taking minutes of the meetings, someone is extracting the decisions and the actions from the minutes and publishing them. In management speak, there appears to be no system in place for closing the loop when council makes decisions. If something as simple as reinstalling a stop sign can slip through the cracks, what else isn't getting actioned but because there isn't a tenacious lunatic like myself doing constant follow-up?